first off, the obvious has been made.
Yeah, I think as soon as anyone clicks on this video, they know exactly what music we picked.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, this is Bowser Galaxy 10. Welcome to a rambling review for The World Ends With You, the animation.
So, Joel, I played the game?
I watched a Let's Play, of it, and I played about half of Final Remix. And I also watched, like, the first 2 episodes in the Japanese dub.
Okay. As for me, blind!
Yeah. So, yeah.
The most I knew was Joel out of context clips.
And being very obsessed with Shiki's hat and Mr. Mew. And to a lesser extent Shiki.
And I think the only thing I knew going in was Math Guy, because I think he was on a Joss Scorcher list at some point for boss list. I think it was on a Joss Scorcher boss list at some point, so that was all I knew of this going in.
You're out of your vector!
So for me, okay, let's go through, do you want to go characters or the story? Because for story I have an idea for it, but in characters we can do a bit later, maybe.
I mean, we could kind of do, like, the partner for each week as we go through each week.
Okay. So, first off, as I said, I was completely blind to this. Week 1 is slow and confusing. Really, I feel like it's kind of badly paced in the animation.
Yeah, I can kind of...
Where it's like, it kind of just, not much happens in the grand scheme of it.
Yeah, I definitely kind of feel like that too. I think week 1 is fairly weak in the anime. I don't think that's really the case in the game.
Yeah, clearly the games, it's supposed to be a quick, not much happens because it's tutorial week. Like, it's really obvious that it's tutorial week.
Yeah. I think maybe it works better in the... I think it almost works better in the game because of something that is pretty controversial about the anime. Neku is not as much of a jerk in this show as he is in the game.
I immediately figured that out when you were telling me about all the other stuff, about all the stuff that happens. But honestly, it makes a lot of sense because in a game, it doesn't matter how much of a dick the main character is. You're playing as them, so you kind of have to root for them because you are them. Meanwhile, in an animation, if you don't like the main character, it kind of falls apart.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's a nice idea in a video game, but it's one of those things that doesn't really work in a movie or so. You see that a lot with other things where it's like, where, for example, they always have to put personalities on the silent characters, like in the Persona animations, where they have to give them personalities, otherwise they might as well be replaced by a plank of wood.
Yeah, but I think that might be part of why week 1 feels a little slow, is because I think in the game there is more of a tension between Neku and Shiki as partners. That makes it more interesting, I think.
Yeah. Shiki's adorable.
Yes. Shiki is adorable as heck. I love Shiki.
And I honestly really like as well how week 1 has a lot of stuff that comes back.
Yeah.
Like in any other thing, it'd be like halfway through the games when all the stuff happens, but it's like in this one, it's like everything pops up.
Yeah, I think
like you get Ryman beat, you get Shiki, and her friend. You get a bunch of stuff that comes back.
Yeah,
I really like that. And also, honestly, I am really amazed on the fact that they could fit all this in Shibuya without it making it look really stale.
Yeah.
Because even Persona honestly wouldn't be able to do that if they just kept it in Shibuya all the time. They had to add the palaces and such to give you interesting backdrops and such.
Yeah, and you could probably say all of those things about the game as well. Like, I think one of my favorite things about the world ends, about both world ends of video games actually, is just how it feels so elegantly written. Like everything is so densely packed with relevant stuff going on. Like almost everything that happens matters.
Yeah, week 1 also has the freaking pin thing being sent out, and that comes back all the way back in week 3.
Yeah,
where it's like the foreshadowing of week 1 actually makes it work a lot better. Where it's like at first the week 1's kind of like, eh. But when you really think about it, it's actually kind of perfect, where it's like, it kind of just feels there, but secretly it's just all a bunch of stuff's being put in.
Yeah, I bet, if we rewatched week 1, it might be more interesting just because you'd be like, oh, that was setting up this thing later!
Yeah, that's the one thing I do like about it, that I've realized now, where it's like first watching, kinda meh. Second watch, it's probably really damn good.
Yeah. Interesting thing...
I don't even remember the week 1 villain.
He's the cooking guy. He's the guy who made cooking puns.
Oh, okay.
Honestly...
Very forgettable.
Honestly, you think he's funny because of cooking puns, and that's the only thing memorable about him. It's the same in the game.
Where it's like in the competition with the other villains, he is very forgettable.
Yeah. But he is kind of funny.
And you also get the introduction of who I kept calling the Team Rocket duo.
Uzuki and Karaya.
Where it really felt like they just kind of showed up every episode to get in their way. Where it was very much felt like Team Rocket showing up every episode to just kind of have some part in the episode.
Yeah, it's I enjoy them though. I think they're pretty good characters.
Yeah.
I guess we should probably talk about Rhyme, because most of Rhyme is in week 1.
Well, part of it, yeah.
Rhyme is adorable.
I keep forgetting she's a girl.
Yeah.
From the outfit.
It took me when you don't have voice acting, and when I was watching the Let's Play in the game, I think both me and Nico B were kind of confused. Is she a boy or a girl at first? Because you don't even have the voice acting to go off of in the game. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she's mostly very adorable and wholesome, and then she hits you in the feels because she gets eaten by a shark.
Yep. though by the end they keep showing the shark eating her so many times it kind of becomes comedic.
A little bit, maybe.
It's kind of that thing where it's like the first time someone dies, it's really sad. By the 5th time you see it, it's kind of like a Krillin situation, where it's like, they gotta die again.
Oh no, they killed Rhyme! You dastards!
Kinda. But by the 5th time you're seeing the shark chomp down on her, you're kind of losing the meaning.
Yeah. But man, that scene honestly, it kind of hits a little harder than it does in the game, because in the game they you don't actually see it happen. Mm-hmm. It kind of happens off screen.
So yeah, you still feel it the first time, but it's the repeated ones that kind of
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember the week 1 villain almost at all. And then Shiki goes poof. As Neku's next fate.
I remember when I was watching the Let's Play recently, I was legitimately angry at Kitaniji. I was like, I am mad at this guy. I hate him.
Well, I mean, that's the point.
Yeah, I'm just saying, good job, writers. You made me hate the villain. I'm like,
but yeah, I kind of expected it, considering how it's called partner and not partners. Where I was like, there's more people than just. I wasn't expecting Shiki to go that quick though. Like from how Joel was talking about her, I thought she'd be like partner 2 or so, not just week 1.
Nope, week 1.
Then we get to week 2.
Week 2 is when all of the intrigue starts happening.
And 90% of it is because of the freaking sussy bastard.
It's your boy, Joshua.
Okay, first off, favorite character of the anime.
I honestly have a hard time picking who my favorite character is in The World Ends With You.
I
kind of love... I'd say Rhyme is a bit lower just because she just isn't there as much. But among the other 4, they're all kind of tied for me, I think.
Pete's just kind of a stereotype for me though, where it's like he's just like every anime strongman I've seen.
I don't know. He's just
Neku's just player character. So you're immediately going to like him. Shiki's adorable. Joshua's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he is entertaining as hell.
I think I could say he's the most entertaining character in the show. Except for maybe Minamimoto. Math guy.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a moment. But yeah, week 2 Joshua is the whole freaking time is okay, there's something freaking wrong with him. What is it?
And the whole time he's like, yeah, I am sussy. I am a jerk. What are you gonna do about it, Neku? You need me.
You don't have me, you die.
So you better suck it up, partner.
Yeah, the fact that Joshua is just being super sus, and then Neku can't do shit about it makes it so intriguing.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
Joshua
literally gets more and more freaking confusing every episode. The actual plot twist by the end is kind of obvious, though, because they kind of drop their hand a bit too quickly.
Yeah.
But either way, Joshua is probably my favorite, like, by far. He's fun in week 2.
Yeah.
Accentuated by Minamimoto. I can see why he's the villain everyone remembers from this. I can tell why he's the boss character everyone remembers.
Rather you Vector!
He just kind of picked something and stuck with it, and I love the fun of it.
Yeah, it also helps that in the game he's that boss who just says the same 2 voice lines over and over and over the whole fight.
Yeah.
So that helps too.
Yeah, that too.
But yeah, Minamimoto is he also is kind of like Joshua. He's kind of like a Joshua, where he's also pretty intriguing because you're kind of also like, what is this guy up to? But at the same time, you're also like, he's also freaking hilarious.
But during week 2, he's kind of just. You don't really get intrigue from him. You get more batshit insane.
Yeah. It was great. He's wonderful.
In the anime, the second appearance is kind of pointless, though. I feel where it's like, I'm going to come back. Dies off screen. Where it's like, he just kind of shows up. Where it's like, I'm not quite sure what his game plan was by the end. Like, even Josh is making fun of him.
Well, Josh makes fun of everyone.
Yeah, but him but Minamimoto the most. Piehead the most. I like how Neku just calls him Piehead by the end, where he just completely drops the name.
Well,
and just goes with Beat's nickname for him.
Piehead, Grim Heaper. You know.
Speaking of Beat in week 2.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna be a Reaper now. It's pretty cool.
Was kind of out of nowhere, though. Where immediately I was like, okay, I don't get I wasn't really liking the way they were going with him the first time, where he just hates Neku where it felt like he just hated Neku for some random reason.
I feel like maybe that would also work better in the game, where Neku is actually a jerk.
Yeah, it didn't really work in the animation when Neku's not jerkish.
Yeah, it definitely feels like in the animation, he definitely comes off as more just, I'm an introvert, and I want to be an introvert.
He kind of goes more for the Makoto Yuki approach, more than the game Neku. Like, literally, the whole time they were mentioning the headphone thing, I was just thinking of Persona 3's intro with Pharaohs.
Yeah.
But yeah, week 2 is probably the most interesting part.
Yeah, I'd say that's
like, I'd say that's kind of where the animation and the game story peaked, was week 2, where it's like, it kind of is like, that's the most interesting part.
Yeah.
Was there.
Week 3 with Beat.
Okay, this is back on track, and I enjoy Beat.
Yeah. It wasn't until I think I was kind of mad about Beat for a while, but once he got to week 3, I was like, oh, okay, I got this character, and he is a wholesome boy, and I love him.
Yeah, he's great. Except for the fact that I've seen this trope multiple times in many, many different anime kind of things, where the big strong delinquent who's actually adorkable.
Yeah.
Like, I've kind of seen it a bunch of times, and I've seen it done better, but Beat's not bad. He's not a bad version of it. It's just I've seen him done a bunch of times.
That's fair.
I've seen the Beat archetype a bunch of times.
I feel like this happens to me somewhat often, where I'm like, I really like this character, and everybody else is like, oh, they're just this trope again, and then I realize, oh, it's because I haven't seen this trope before, because this is back when I was anime noob. Yep.
Beat's not a bad one of it though. He is above average.
Yeah.
Like, he's still above average, and the fact that he uses a freaking skateboard, it makes him immediately memorable.
I mean, you say that like Shiki isn't beating people up with a stuff.
Yeah, but that's Shiki! Shiki was already winning! Shiki's design is damn near iconic.
Well, that's probably not because of me. Because I made it out to be iconic.
Even then, her design is literally meant to be iconic girl from the game.
I suppose.
What's her name?
Konishi, I think. I'm not the best with the names.
Yeah, where it's like she kind of exists. Where it's like she really feels like secretary, and then the animation made me really confused with the shadow thing at first, where it's like I'm gonna stay in this one spot. Shows multiple times.
And then she's like, oh, well, I was in your shadow the whole time. And I'm like, oh, right, that was a thing. I remember that
kind
now.
of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
the Minami Moto showing up was kind of redundant, kind of just there, where it's like we wanted to bring this guy back as a boss. You kind of already beat up we kind of already made every Reaper go insane. You need a boss fight, so hear him.
Yeah.
Where it kind of felt like they just wanted like a secret other villain that was trying to do everything.
Yeah. I can see that.
He's just kind of out of... It kind of feels like just kind of thrown in to Week 3.
Yeah.
What's Sunglass's name?
Kisamiji.
He's alright.
Yeah, I think his place in the story is interesting, but as a character, he's fine.
He very much delves into humanity can't be trusted to look after itself by the end, which is a gigantic trope.
Yeah, he is.
Where it's like he gets the most tropey by the end, where it's like he was actually interesting the first 2 times when Neku won a game. And then he kind of just becomes tropish by the end.
Yeah, a little bit.
Where it's like he becomes less and less interesting the more I saw of him.
That's fair.
Coffee Dude's fun.
Hanakoma, yes! He's fun.
I realize we completely forgot to mention him.
And that will kill us for forgetting Cat.
Yeah. He's fun.
Yeah. I think they do a pretty good job of making him making him a very mysterious character, and you're like wondering what's up with this guy.
If it wasn't for the fact that the Joshua twist is kind of obvious, them baiting him to be the one in charge would make more sense.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that Joshua one's very obvious by the end. Speaking of,
yeah, Josh, composer, be the bad guy.
yeah, where it's like Joshua's I saw it really saw it coming pretty quick. I like the idea of where they were going with him, though.
Yeah. I think it works pretty well. I
don't really have that much to say on it. I think it just works well.
Yeah. Honestly, I disagree with Nico B on it being dumb that they double bait you on who killed Neku. Honestly, I'm not bothered by it.
Yeah.
Nico B thought it was the dumbest thing ever, but... I'm not bothered by it. It seems fine to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seemed like one. They pull the games with not showing us real Shiki's face.
They're like, nope! The old world that's with you's coming out soon, we're not showing you till then!
And they were literally doing the cartoon gag of literally having her face obscured by everything in every shot.
Yeah. That's not even like if they listen the game, they end the game basically with that. So that you're not it's not like, yeah, we'll just have her in 5 more scenes, but you still don't get to see her face.
It's either from the back or someone's obscuring her from the side.
Yeah.
It's honestly pretty hilarious.
Yeah. But, yeah.
So, I think it's time for the main character now.
Neku Sakuraba.
On the final thoughts on him. Again, the anime kind of turns him into more of a Makoto Yuki approach. Of just an introvert who's just hiding behind his headphones and has to learn to rely on people and trust people.
Yeah. I'm still kind of.
I still like how they did it,
Yeah.
but I do kind of see what people are complaining about. But I think it is like the best they could do because again, you need the main character to be likable if you're not playing as them. Otherwise, it kind of throws everything out.
Yeah, and I think I'm like. It's not. I think my.
I don't think it ruins
it's
the
not,
anime, though.
It's not ideal, but I think it works all right. I think it still works all
I
right.
think it was needed for the anime. I can see why people who played the game first don't like it, but it makes sense at least. It at least makes sense on why they felt the need to do so.
And by the time you get to week 2, I'm like, yeah, this is just. Yeah, but once you get past week 1, it's Neku as he is in the game, basically.
Which works with the where it's like with week 1, Shiki kind of doesn't deserve it. It makes sense for him for them to tone down the unlikableness. By week 2, yeah, Josh kind of deserves Jerk Neku from the game. So it works out that they can switch him back to closer to what the game's like at that point.
Yeah.
Where it does make sense.
So yeah, I still prefer how it is in the game, but I'm not way too bothered.
Where it's like,
it.
the anime did what it had to do, and it's not a bad part. It doesn't ruin Neku. I still like him, and this is the only one I've seen.
Yeah. Neku's still good. Kopipe are still good.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like they had to do something.
Yeah.
I freaking love the art of this anime.
Yeah.
Like,
this anime is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like that's like probably the single biggest that might be the single biggest positive I can give the animation is it looks so good.
Yes. Like, whoever did this loved the game. You can tell that they loved the game.
And honestly, I could even say, I also just want to mention that, like, I've noticed, even as, like, not only like, not even like a super hardcore fan of the World Ends With You, I noticed quite a few cute little references. You could tell the people making this knew the source material pretty well. Like, they had stuff like, yeah, we're going to literally have them do the character special attacks, and they're going to say the voice lines they do in the special attack.
Yeah. Where it's like, clearly this was a labor of love from the animators.
Yeah.
Like, you can easily tell.
Yeah.
Like, whoever designed this loved the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, probably the only reason Neku was changed was because of higher-ups being like, you gotta make him actually likable.
Yeah. So...
The music's fantastic.
Well, I mean... It's the World Ends With You. The music has always been fantastic.
Well, I haven't played the game, sir.
Okay, well, yes, the music is fantastic. Welcome to the club.
But yeah, you can really tell the Nomura with some of the parts. Especially the whole place where you're fighting Glasses Dude. Where it's like, yeah, you can really tell this is a Nomura-made product.
I mean, you can also kind of tell, I think you can also tell by the fact that Shiki looks, in my opinion, Shiki looks a little bit like a Kairi lookalike to me. Like, her hair's a bit longer, but their hairstyle seems kind of similar. Maybe not as much. The more I look at it, the more I like it.
Not really. I wouldn't really say that.
I guess I could kind of just see the similar style, that's all I'm saying.
I think that's more just Japanese looks of the characters they're going for. I mean, I'm not going to go saying Neku's spiky hair is Sora, because that's not even close. That's just anime spiky hair characters.
And I'd also be more specifically, that's just how Nomura draws.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just how he draws that style, that type of hair.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, I do love the animation being like kind of like a street art style, especially on the enemies.
Yeah, that's always been one of the things that's really cool.
The only thing that I kind of was annoyed with the animation is the fact that the bosses were very clearly CGI ones. Where it's like,
Yeah.
I clearly understand why they did, but it's still kind of annoying, kind of sad. Where it's like I would have found them a lot more cooler if it was like actually like in the style.
Yeah, I also think that I feel like early on I thought the fights were really cool, but over time I kind of felt like I don't know if this is just my opinion changing over time or if this is actually a difference later on in the show, but it kind of felt later on that a lot of the fights felt a little bit rushed.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Where it's like for first guy in Minamimoto 1, it's like they get pretty much whole episodes to their fights, or at least like a good like 60% of an episode. Meanwhile, the last few had to only have like half an episode.
Yeah.
Like clearly, like only like 4% of an episode. Where I did notice that with the last few, where I was like, wait, it's already done.
Yeah.
Where it's like, especially with the dragon fight, where it's like really all that happens was that Neku gets an attack, Shiki gets an attack, Beat gets an attack, Neku makes the plushie ball. Done. Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's kind like
wasn't this supposed to be like a 4-phase boss fight in the game?
Yeah, it really feels like it kind of gives the thing of we had an episode limit, we realized that we were reaching the limit, let's get this done quick.
Yeah.
Like this could have done with like at least like I don't think it would have needed like an extra episode, but it's like it might have wanted one. Where it's like obviously we needed the 13 episodes because Nomura's fetish and he had a gun to our head.
I mean, there's 12 episodes, so I would have made it 13.
I thought it was 13.
No, it was 12.
Wasn't it 13?
It was 12.
I was very sure it was 13 episodes.
I'm pretty sure it was 12. And now it's looking.
Honestly, honestly checking because
And Nomura was just the artist for this game, okay? He didn't write it. I don't think. Maybe he was a co-writer. I'm second guessing myself now.
Oh, it is only 12. Never mind.
You're wrong.
It should have been 13 then. Nomura's crying.
Why would you do that to our boys?
Then again, I think most anime seasons are around like 10 to 12 episodes, so I guess that's probably the actual reason.
Yeah. So...
Where I guess that's the actual reason where it's like we had an episode limit.
So I guess here's a question. What do you think of the idea of people watching this instead of playing the game? I mean, I guess you haven't...
I haven't played the game. And I haven't really played any version either, so I can't really answer that.
Yeah, I guess that's not really a fair question.
But from what I've seen of the story and what you've told of me, we're not in a Persona 5 situation where the anime cuts out like a bunch of stuff where it's like it's serviceable at least.
Yeah,
it's at least something where it's like if you don't have a DS copy or the Switch copy, but you want to watch the story before you get into like Neo or something, I think it works out well enough.
Yeah,
I think you get at least the most. You get at least most of it. It didn't really feel like they had to cut anything super major out.
My 10-pin slammer!
So.
It's a mini game. It's a briefly
I said
mandatory
major.
mini game that you can then play.
I said major, where it's like if it's not.
That's why I said it in
It's
a
not
different
like
voice.
Persona 5 where it felt like there was super plot important stuff that was just cut out. You get the character's development. Neku's a bit nicer. That's all this anime really does. Other than that, I think the anime is serviceable.
Yeah,
That is a serviceable thing. It's not like other animes where it's other game animes where again, like Persona 5's, where it's like it clearly wasn't going to be able to do so in the 12% of the time that it had according from the game in 12% of the game's runtime. Like this one had a lot less to actually have to get in, and it didn't really cut anything major out.
Yeah.
Like, you get the story, you get the gist of the story, you get the characters.
Yeah, I think...
Thus, I'd say it's serviceable.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say it's kind of comparable to the game versus movie comparison with Kingdom Hearts Days, where it's like, yeah, you are missing some stuff. You are missing some stuff. I think it's better I think you'll have a better experience if you play the game overall, but watching the animation I think it's serviceable. I think you'll get the gist of it. I think you'll have a good time with it.
Yeah, it's not like Persona 4. It's not up there with Persona 4 animation, where it's like you could just watch the Persona 4 anime.
Yeah.
Because that one is just one of the best animes I've seen of a game-to-anime comparison. But it's like, it's definitely, like, near there, where it's like the game isn't overshadowed. It's a nice companion piece. If you didn't have the game, I think this would work. And I feel like you'd be able to jump straight into Neo if you wanted to afterward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is the content they added, some story content they added in the final remix that is relevant. I think Neo seems to, from what I've seen, Neo, I think explains it well enough that you could probably get away with not watching it, maybe. But there will be some stuff where you're like, who are you? Okay, I guess that's who you are, sure.
I mean, that's just the Nomura thing of putting extra content in a re-release and then having the sequel revolve around that re-release content.
But I think they explain it well enough that it's like, if you didn't know it was there, you might be confused. But if you know it was there, I think they explain it well enough in Neo that you can get the gist of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fun. Like, the anime is fine. I liked the anime.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed this experience of seeing this.
It was a good time. By the way, the dub was pretty good, right? I thought the dub was good.
Yeah. It's not the... I think you said it's not the game's voice cast?
It doesn't... it's not... maybe a couple of them are the same, but... at least like Neku, Shiki, and Joshua are definitely different. I know for sure those three are different.
I kind of enjoy the different Josh though, because I've seen the is the Kingdom Hearts the one?
In Kingdom Hearts they have the story.
I am kind of glad that Josh is differently voiced, because I was very confused by high-pitched Josh in there, where I was like, is he supposed to be a chicken in Kingdom Hearts or something?
I will say though, a lot of people were upset about it, and I think it's because him sounding like that almost makes him sound like even more of a jerk than he already is. But he almost makes him come off as even more obnoxious than he already is.
Yeah, but it's like, these aren't problems, though. Like they're changes, but it's not like a super massive change that's gonna ruin the experience for you.
Yeah.
Like, unless, if you're not a die-hard fan of World Ends With You, I think it's perfectly serviceable.
Yeah. And they do a good job with it.
And I mean, if you don't like the animation, it's not like the game goes away.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to keep Jerk Neku, you can just play the game.
Yeah.
But it's like for an outsider looking in, this was enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
This anime does nothing super wrong.
Yeah, and from a casual fan of the world that did you, I also thought it was a pretty good time.
Yeah. It's also only 12 episodes where it's like it's not a long grueling process or anything.
Yeah.
And it's not as badly paced as Persona 5's was.
Yeah. I think the pacing has a little bit of issues.
The only issue I had
but
with
it's
the
mostly
pacing was was really the first week and then the last few fights. Where it's like the last 2 episodes felt rushed and week 1 was just kind of there. unless you're counting Shiki.
Yeah, it was, yeah, like the pacing could have been better, but it's generally pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that is about all we have to say.
Yep. 41 minutes.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. Lawrence is pretty cool.
Yay.
It's also called What a Wonderful World in Japan.
Which you can really tell considering the last few episodes of the English.
What a wonderful world it would be.
Okay, we get it. Cinema Sins has rolled the credits 80 times by now.
I'm pretty sure in the game they literally say that like every time you get a random encounter on week 3.
Where it's like Cinema Sins has rolled the credits like 80 times at this point.
Probably like most fans could probably quote that entire all those lines by heart.
But yeah, that's it. Good anime. Recommended.
Recommend. Not a must-watch, but it's a good time.
If you want to know the story of World Ends With You, it works.
Yeah. And Neo's really good, so it's worth it. Bye.